Welcome to the Penniless Podcast. Tuba, 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 tuba. Welcome to the Penniless Podcast. Tuba, 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 tuba.
Welcome to the Penniless Podcast. I am James or Penny, or the second time exactly. This is Les, and we've got a special guest here today, and I do have an introduction for him. This is the lover, the metal music maker, promoter, marketer, the OG Mandalorian, selfie master, and mate to everyone. Tim Pricey Price, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
No, it's good to have you, mate. Good to have you.
The selfie master.
Selfie master.
It's known.
Yeah.
It's known. Is that not your Instagram tag? Selfie master?
It should be.
Yeah.
It should be.
I'm pretty sure I saw it in there when I went onto Instagram. Your profile
Deleted it
said.
since.
Yeah.
Did it? Yeah, was there at one stage?
Nah.
Yeah.
No, he doesn't need to have a tag. You just scroll through.
Yeah.
It's fine. Yeah.
It's a vibe.
It's a vibe.
It is a vibe.
It is a vibe.
But I also appreciate that you've put the OG Mandalorian in there.
Yeah.
It's obviously a reference to that our friendship is old enough that you remember that I had the Mandalorian, the mythosaur skull tattooed.
Yeah, man.
That I've now had covered up.
Yeah, and I didn't know that until just before when you were talking about it. And apparently one of our friends has done the...
Chris Bartlett.
Bartlett, so big shout out to Chris.
Big legend.
And what do you got there now?
It's Darth Vader's head.
Oh, great.
Good cover up job.
Yeah, very good.
So the only bit that remains is the glare in Vader's
Darth Vader.
in his visor is the negative space in the mythosaur skull.
So Darth Vader's staring down a mythosaur.
Yeah.
Brutal.
You just know he'd take it down. He'd take down a mythosaur for sure.
And Chris Bartlett's a big Star Wars fan as well. Yeah.
He is, yeah. He does a lot of pop culture stuff, which I really love. I love his he does a lot of Terminator stuff as well.
Yeah, he does.
And horror theme stuff.
Yeah.
I remember just watching movies like late night, watching
With
movies, Chris, just horror movies and just random shit. I had in my room a projector, and I'd have one of those drop down things, which was pretty crazy at the time. And I
On a remote control.
On a remote control, I just pressed the button and this thing would come down, and I have this thing, the projector. And
On the
back
ceiling.
then, they were like $2,500 or something like that to buy.
No
'em.
TV, just a projector.
No TV. I had this projector hooked up to my TV. I was just chilling on the bed, just eating popcorn, watching movies.
Do you know what I
good.
love about that? I know, like, I didn't grow up in Gladstone, but I spent so much time down in Gladstone, like coming to shows that you put on or helping put on shows down there, managing Epidemic Over. And I got so ingrained in the sort of Gladstone culture down there that I know that you probably bought that projector off Truckee at Better Electrical at some point.
I think I potentially did on finance.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
I know the culture so well down there. That, you know.
But I love that shit. I've always been like a futurist and loving new technologies and stuff like that. And so it wasn't really new technology, but it was new to retail. Like,
to have one in your bedroom.
Yeah.
It just wasn't a thing that was done. That was like for a school or like a
That's what I was
really
going to say.
liked it.
Did you steal it from a school?
Yeah, no. The girls loved it. And I think that was my first finance that defaulted.
Lucky new truck.
Welcome to the real world. Oh, man, we've gone off on a tangent already.
Already.
Okay.
So we've got a heap of questions and bits and pieces for you today. We've got, so just to explain for anyone new watching the show, we do go through a little bit about meeting our guests. So Pricey today, in the first part of the segment, we play a little bit of a game, which we've set up a Star Wars trivia versus.
Okay.
So I am definitely the underdog in this situation, Pricey.
Nah, look, I've got to give you props here. It's rare that there's someone that will actually rival my knowledge that I get to play against. So
we will see. I'm waiting to see what questions Liz has sort of brought up for us.
Yeah, I actually thought you are both very big Star Wars fans. So I went to the page, I scrolled down a few and it said the surprisingly hardest Star Wars trivia questions.
Okay. Okay.
So, but also I will say I scrolled through a few of them and I know some of the answers. So I don't think they're that hard. So we'll see how we go. Might be a mixed bag.
Okay.
Yeah, cool. Okay, so we'll do that, and then we'll go down the rabbit hole. And down the rabbit hole, this season we're sort of talking about conspiracy theory sort of stuff. So we're going to talk about like the body swap stuff, some of the subliminal messaging sort of stuff, and in the music industry and advertising industry. And you got some backing in that because you're in marketing at the moment, yeah?
Yeah, I'm just out here just popping in subliminal messages.
Really?
Into every marketing piece I do every day. Every day.
Love Pricey.
Why do you think I get such good engagement?
Engagement. I love it.
Yeah,
Marketing talk.
We'll tackle that a little bit more later on.
Coming back.
Even at Niage. You remember that from The Simpsons?
No.
Oh,
It was Join the Navy. Back
yes.
To
Yes,
There's an
I
episode
do.
of The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Where it's like Bart becomes he gets into a boy group.
Yeah.
And their big song is Even at Niage, which is Join the Navy back to front.
So good. So good. Yeah, so we'll get into talking about that. We were talking about your tattoo just before. What's your next tattoo going to be?
I'm pretty keen on getting the Sleep Token logo. I've got the Spirit Box one from the first album. I worked on that album when one of the sort of last campaigns I did. And I did the first 2 Sleep Token albums, did the PR campaigns for those. So
If you haven't
they're very
seen
meaningful
Spirit
to me.
Box, they are freaking amazing.
Yeah.
Go check out their music. 100%.
That was certainly a high point in my career. Was working for them. I fought to work for both of those bands. I begged and pleaded and hassled until I got to work with them. I believed in them that much that I was just like, I want to, and I offered to work for it for free.
Yeah, wow.
Because I was like, these bands are going to be huge.
Yeah, and
Very
they are
cool.
huge.
Yeah.
They are so good. Yeah. So on music stuff, that's kind of the first kind of question I wanted to go through. Is sort of what is one of your, I guess, best music experience. So you've worked in promoting, you've worked in managing, you've worked in playing music, and now marketing music. But what's sort of your best experience in sort of backstage antics or something like that?
Yeah, I mean, certainly, like, there's plenty of like backstage at festival stories and all of that sort of stuff, and there's all sorts of wild shit that happens, but
Yeah, that's the stuff. That's
stuff. But like, I personally think probably the one that sort of holds a lot more meaning to me is, like, to give it a bit of context. My dad is a pretty typical sort of dad. He I know he's proud of me, but he hasn't in previous times been great at like saying that.
Yeah, okay.
As
Standard dad.
dad stuff.
Yeah,
It's just like, he knows.
exactly.
he knows.
Yeah,
He's a
really?
good boss.
Nah, it's fine.
And
Good apple.
Yeah, and so at this point, I was probably a good decade into my career of working in music, and at that point, I had made friends with Rob Farnham, who son of John, and
son of John.
yeah,
Son of John.
of John Farnham fame.
Yeah. And this is from the Bible, is it?
And then there was also a connection there with the Dead Letter Circus guys, in that they had also made pals with Rob, and they took Rival Fire on tour, and I'd been doing PR for Dead Letter, and so I ended up doing PR for Rival Fire, and the Red Hot Summer tour was coming through Brisbane and was playing at Sandstone Point, and John was obviously the headliner of that festival, and Rob said, well, I'm coming up from Melbourne.
So this was
I'll
one
put
of
you guys
his
all on the door.
like his retiring kind of concerts.
Oh no, this is well beyond his return from retiring. He's not even, the joke isn't even that he's like back for the 15th time again. Like he's beyond all of that.
Yeah,
It's like, I'm just playing a festival, guys. Anyway, so he's headlining Red Hot Summer, and Rob puts us all on the door, and we all head out. And Rob says, like, depends how Dad's feeling after the show. If he's knackered, like, he probably won't. But if he's still got a bit of energy in him, he'd love to meet you all, and would love to have a drink with you guys. And so he's like, right, I wait here. And he goes backstage and comes back and gets us and takes us backstage. And we sit there for a little bit and we're all sort of nervously chatting like,
Is this going to be it?
we're going to meet the man himself. And then after a little while he comes out and he's the loveliest bloke, and he comes out, he's got a snifter of cognac and the biggest cigar you've ever seen. And he's like, and it's at Sandstone Point, so we're sitting at the back of this thing and we're on the water.
Yeah,
we're on like it's like
location.
a jetty.
Yeah.
And his manager Glenn Wheatley was there with us as well, who, you know, he's unfortunately passed away now. But, you know, it was just so lovely, you know, and he gave us so much time and gave us so much of his, you know, energy. And Kim, the singer from Dead Letter, and we basically sat with Glenn Wheatley and talked to him for a good hour and a half. Just hearing all of his stories and, you know, about, you know, what his philosophies on like new music industry strategy is. You know, hearing about his prison stories. And how he went to prison for tax evasion, and, you know, that he, you know, and talking about how, you know, he basically took bad advice from an accountant, and when the charges came through, he basically took the rap, put the hand up and went, yep, no worries. But he was saying,
What a bloke.
yeah, but then he was saying there were so many other people who didn't. And then also like to cover themselves kind of trashed him in the media, like how good that monster Wheatley's away behind bars. And he's sitting there reading that in prison in the, you know, the Sydney Morning Herald going, get fucked. You know, like, you know, knowing full well that this guy's using the same accountant and, you know, did all the same things.
Look at newspapers now, suckers. No.
And, you know, and then, so then after all of that, like I, you know, rang my dad and rang my parents and was saying, you know, here's the experience I've just had. I'm on cloud nine. It was absolutely incredible and it was really life affirming. And, you know, and my dad was like, oh, keep going, mate. And it's just like, oh my God, it's taken a decade of working in this industry. It's my full-time job. I've got my own business on, you know, working with some of the world's biggest metal bands. And but it just came down. Exactly. It came down to someone that he knew, you know, that was what impressed him. Finally, he's like, finally someone I've heard of.
He's like, you're on the right track.
Who the hell's this sleep token business? How do I get one so I can take a nap?
If you'd only taken like a small volunteer role in some part of John Farnham's experience at some point in time, you could have had that a decade earlier.
Yeah, could have.
So last week we were talking about what music you'd have like as you came into the room, and like I imagine John Farnham would have, you know, you know, have that you're the voice trying to understand it.
Like,
whoa.
And it's not
As he
recorded.
walks in with his
he has a group of people behind him, just like.
So that's what happened?
Oh, he kind of appeared like out of a mist almost. Like he was. He's pretty mythological. Like,
Yes, is what he's saying. Yes,
that is exactly.
But like, you know, I mean, the unfortunate thing is, you know, he's had throat cancer and cancer in his jaw. Sorry.
Yeah.
And you know, he's got a long journey back. Like he had to learn to speak again. You know? Like,
that's rough. Hey?
It's pretty rough, and you know, but I hope he's okay.
Yeah, because he is like a national treasure. Like
very much is.
Absolutely.
But also like deserves it. Like he's a very, very genuine human. Like you know, like sometimes you worry about meeting an idol or someone like that. That
definitely happened to me in the past.
This is going to be ridiculous. Like I'm going to be so disappointed when I meet them.
Yeah, well, but this he was just genuine. It was like he gave so much of his time and was so stoked to like he met the Dead Letter Circus guys, and you know Rob had been showing him their music, and he was just, I love it. He's just, you guys are so great. And he's like, and he really respected Kim's voice and like his vocal range.
Yeah.
And he, you know, like
because Kim's done like a lot to sort of train his voice to
totally
get where he goes.
So like, I mean, that must have been life affirming for Kim as well.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
Who has that experience?
Exactly, yeah.
John Farnham's everyone's dad.
Yeah.
Pretty well.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
he's basically saying,
"You did
all
good."
right, Kim,
Yeah.
you've done good, mate.
Exactly. yeah. So
It's good though. That builds
Yeah.
that motivation, and you're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I'm going to go home," and then you write your best song when you go home, and it's the best ever. Anyway, yeah. So
Great story.
great story. Thank you
Yeah.
so much. And I knew 100% that you'd have all these great stories. So I appreciate you coming along today.
I'm also wary of like exposing people for their bad behavior backstage. I don't want to out anyone.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those like Vegas kind of things, right?
Yeah.
What happens
There's a bit of
in
that.
backstage stays in backstage. Yeah, I've definitely got some stories as well, which is fun. All right, so green box time?
Green box time.
Green box.
Oh, yeah.
So just to explain green box.
Oh, the green box is introduction questions that we find out things about you without directly asking personal
Wonderful.
questions about you.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Just to figure out how you think.
Yeah, but I gave you the first one. I sent you the first one.
Yeah. Okay, so this is a fun one, Star Wars related. So
Okay.
if you were a galactic insurance claims manager, would you pay the insurance claim for the first Death Star explosion? What's your thoughts process?
I would, because as far as I can tell, it was an act of terrorism.
Yeah.
If you look at the Rebel Alliance as a terrorist organization against, but I don't necessarily agree morally with, I don't align with the Empire.
Okay.
Well, hold
but-
on, but you have a Darth Vader tattoo on you.
I do.
Where's the difference here?
The idea of that was that it would be the figurehead of an original trilogy sleeve, because that is his story. The original trilogy is his story.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So it's not that he's your idol
No,
and you're on your
God,
life.
no.
Okay, great. Yeah, cool.
So you know a bit about insurance. Would that hold up in court?
Not currently. Acts of terrorism aren't actually covered by insurance policies in this day and age.
So
Now,
what? You've just got to fend for yourself. If
this is a
a
pre
terrorist act
Yeah,
destroys your business or your
Yeah.
home,
yeah. This
you've
is
just got to fend for yourself. You're like, oh well,
that's it.
way you go.
This is a post 9/11
That's what
world.
GoFundMe's for.
Yeah, correct. What you're talking
Holy
about though,
shit.
Death Star is obviously not. It's pre 9/11.
Yeah, 1977.
You know,
Galaxy long time ago in a galaxy far away.
yeah.
so
They might have different insurance
they
providers
who
there.
knows what their insurance claim
Nah,
would
they
say.
got NRMA.
If they had paid the claim on the Death Star, I think acts of terrorism would have been excluded a lot earlier.
Drain the economy of every galactic
Yeah, there's no more
planetary
insurance.
system. Out there.
Yeah.
Every insurance policy goes through the roof.
Yeah.
The deductibles.
The amount of material it took to build that thing is like ridiculous though. I
Yeah.
think they tried to figure it out in like
Not to mention the Kyber
Yeah, exactly.
in the heart of it to fire the
Just
thing.
for everyone that doesn't watch Star Wars, kyber is a kyber crystal. It's
Yeah.
what's used in the lightsabers to make it
But
do
then
the
also
thing.
the-
And they used it in the Death Star. Big boobs.
The big laser. Yeah.
That was a good question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is a
Yeah.
good question. It actually came from a meme that I've been holding on to for a while because I knew Pricey was coming on. And I was like, hey, I'm going to bring this one in. So the meme was funny movie clips. There's your shout out. Good one. All right. So it's basically these stormtroopers, sitting around each other at the bar. They're having their drinks and their drinks of the blue milk, and they're talking
milk.
talking trap, talking trash. So it goes like this. It was an insurance scam for sure. I mean, come on. The guy who blew up the thing was the dude's son. Like, I know they are like estranged or something, but they were clearly in on it together for the insurance money. There were delays during construction. Vader knew it had design flaws. It was never going to make it back, make the investment back. So it was all staged, that rebel raid and everything. And Vader was the only one that survived. Come on. So obvious.
Okay, that's another perspective on it. Yeah.
Yeah, you pay that claim, then they see your tattoo, and then they're like, "You're out. No more job for you." Yeah,
No, I'd be in all sorts. Yeah.
Inside family job. That's what that is. I didn't know we were doing a Star Wars theme, so mine is not Star Wars
forgive you.
related.
Lay it on me.
I didn't ask for your forgiveness, but thank you. Mine is who in the past would be a real life wizard.
Like in real world history.
In real world history, who do you think is actually a wizard, a legitimate wizard?
Rasputin, without a doubt. Rasputin.
Like the guy with the song.
Yeah. The song's about him. Yeah.
Did he,
Russia's greatest love machine.
That's why he was a wizard?
So he was a love wizard.
So, aren't we all, James? Aren't we all?
Doing a little bit of advertising as you go, hey, Pricey. For everyone watching. Yeah. Love machine. Tim Price. I should have put that in your intro.
Yes. If you do a trailer for this episode, if Boney M's get the licensing for that, James.
Yeah,
sure.
we'll get on it.
So Rasputin, if you are not across him, was like I think it was the late 1800s or early 1900s. He was a sort of a radical sort of alternative healer in Russia, and the Tsar or the king or the emperor or whatever it was that they had at the time had a very sickly son that no one could come up with what was wrong with him.
Okay.
And they, sort of went through all of their traditional healers and doctors and all of that sort of stuff. They had no answers, no solutions. And so they turned to sort of alternative healers, and this guy came in and went full of confidence, full of beans, and just went send them all home. I've got you covered. And
On no basis. But this is fine.
The confidence level.
just absolute confidence, And
Do you think he'd be the one to
Land the plane. Yeah.
if the pilot?
I was going to
fell
say
asleep?
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but whether it was what he did or sheer, luck, the kid healed up and was fine.
So
was cured.
could it have been the 15 healers before him that just their stuff took a bit of time to work?
Potentially.
And then he's come in.
But anyway, so
Rasputin.
whatever it is, he's done what he's done, and the kid's healed up, and so then was basically given the sort of keys to the castle. He was revered as a pretty well untouchable because the Tsar was like this. We owe this man a
Everything.
Greatest
debt.
wizard alive.
Yeah,
Eat your heart out, Harry Potter.
but then as he really just took that and ran with it. He was, and there's the reason why the song calls him Russia's greatest love machine was that he was married, but he was shagging everything in sight. In the court. It was he had, there's photos of him just surrounded by 15, 20 women.
Right.
He's
Great.
He's an animal.
Come touch me now.
That sounds a lot of fun, but 15,
That's a lot.
that is a lot. You'd have to have a pretty big room, I guess.
I mean, the man lived in the Russian
In the castle.
castle,
He's in the castle.
in the Kremlin.
Could
Maybe
you
they
handle
just-
15 women?
Maybe they just lined up one after the other. And
I'd give it a damn good shot. But he then basically started getting real out of control.
Yeah.
And all of the the Russian politicians and royalty and monarchs and whatever started getting very okay, this guy's taking the piss now.
He's a bit of a pest.
He's a pest and he needs to go. So they basically started sending assassins.
Yeah.
And it I can't remember the exact number of attempts that was made on him, but the number 21 jumps out at me as they
Like blackjack.
yeah is he they stabbed him, they shot him, they poisoned him, they threw him off a roof.
right.
They
So it's
and eventually-
invincible.
And so I believe he was.
Bit of a wizard.
That was his wizard thing. He was able to.
He was a wizard.
He was
what's
casting
what's the
spells
thing where
and
they
what have you.
go invisible? Not go invisible. They epiphorate or some thing.
Evaporate.
They go, something like that. What's that thing from Harry Potter where they and then they go over somewhere else?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that one.
Yeah, I reckon he's doing that.
But eventually they chained him up and threw him in the river
Yeah, right.
and let him drown. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
Yeah,
I
you can't
believe his
wizard your
body
way
is-
out of that one,
Yeah,
can you?
and I believe his body's on display now somewhere in Russia.
Yeah.
Wow.
As a don't mess with the.
Even
don't
if
mess
it
with
takes us
Russian-
21 times, we'll get you.
And so he was.
Yeah, don't mess with the Tsar until they did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
I firmly believe there was something going on, and there is if you Google him, there's talk that he was sort of dabbled in the supernatural and
Wow.
that sort of thing as well. So
The original Harry Potter.
Yeah,
Rasputin.
he's-
Rasputin. Love machine.
That's
disco
a great answer.
and disco
Yeah.
disco star.
When you see like when you go like Harry Potter and Love Machine, I don't think the two sort of mix
They
together
don't
real
really.
well.
They
shouldn't.
They shouldn't. Because when you get to know Harry, he's like 11 years old.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
I'm like,
All right, let's
Yeah.
move on from this.
yeah, no.
get into
yeah.
awkward territory.
Yeah,
Yeah,
correct.
definitely.
Let's move on.
All right, cool. So we've got another question
Yep.
here.
Lay it on.
All over you. All right. This
Sorry, what?
I said lay it on me.
Oh, okay.
and that just got awkward. All right, let's cut. No. All right, so okay, so the zombie outbreak happens.
Oh yeah. Okay, I love these questions.
Yeah, zombie outbreak happens. It's a complete shitstorm outside. It's all around Brisbane where we're at the moment. What's your plan?
Well, hold on. Where is he? Can you give him a location?
Am I at home?
You're at work.
I'm at work. If I'm at work, I'm sorted.
Okay.
Yeah, because if I'm at work, I'm on the 5th floor, like very high up.
Okay.
Fifth floor isn't that high. That's
No,
fine.
it's not.
I'll
But
do-
also, like, if the power's out, then the lifts are out. So
But
it's
you can
only
still
the
get-
stairs.
yeah, okay.
So if you can barricade the stairs and manage the zombies getting into that point, and I think you're
So
good.
you're just gonna
But
stick it
doesn't-
out?
Yeah. It's about sticking it out, but then it doesn't solve getting food and that sort of stuff. So
What would be your? Would you have a drawer full of
Uber
snacks at
Eats.
work? Or
yeah, so, like certainly at work we've got, there is food there that would probably get us through 4 to 5 days, I would say.
all of you, or would you have to make some choices?
Well, let's hope that the zombie apocalypse happens on a Friday.
Okay.
Barely
because-
anyone in the office.
I'm literally the only one in the office
Yeah.
most Fridays.
Yeah, right.
I love going into the office and everyone else works from home.
Yeah, right.
And
It's just you having a party.
I love
Rah,
Fridays.
rah, Rasputin.
I love going in on Fridays. It's the only day I get to play my music.
Yeah, right.
And yeah, I chill out and do my thing at work. But so that would mean then that I'd have.
So we have to schedule
much.
it for a Friday.
Yeah.
If it
great.
happens on a Friday, I'm set.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Because then I'll have a few more days that I could probably survive up there on what food is there. But then I would hope that perhaps whatever zombies we're dealing with, because there are a number of different sort of theories on
How the
zombies.
zombies.
Let's go standard
but-
Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
Do they starve if they don't?
They it takes them a long
Yeah,
time
it
though,
does.
doesn't
Yeah.
it?
Done that,
Yeah,
yeah.
like a long time.
So
Yeah.
even if we're talking 30 days later stuff,
Yeah.
they lasted for what, 4 years or 5
Yeah.
years or something.
Just based on the number of humans that are around, they survived. that
I
long.
would, I guess, being that they sort of are, well, if we're talking Walking Dead zombies,
Yeah.
then they're sort of attracted to light and sound and
Yeah.
things that are going on. So after a few days, they would have moved. If I'm very silent and I'm very, no lights on,
Yep.
at nighttime, that sort of thing, hopefully they've moved on to different areas.
Yeah.
And that would allow me then to sort of escape that building.
Okay.
Hold on
and move on.
But you're saying you've blocked the stairs, so you've
Blocked
filled
them
up
so they
the
can't get in. I've
In what
barricaded
way?
doors.
In what way? You've thrown shit in the and
No,
then you
I've
have to
barricaded the
mistakenly
doors that they
like,
can't get into. They could probably get up the stairwell to that point, but couldn't get into my office.
So then you open it and you could have a stairwell full of zombies.
I could, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. See,
It-
I
yeah,
think
it is fraught
you're,
with-
as
fraught
much
with
as you're
issues.
the only person there, I think you've not accounted for. You're not in the middle of nowhere. It's not just a building in the
Correct,
middle
yeah.
of nowhere, so you can't control
Yeah, it's in
the
West End.
sound, lights. Yeah, exactly. So the number of other people and things going on, I still think that you can't just wait it out a few days and be like, okay, well, let's just see what happens, and I'll like venture out. I think. I don't know that you're gonna
Yeah,
survive.
it's different. It's
What kind of
difficult.
weapons would you have at work? I mean, no, you're not going to tell us that you got a gun hiding in a
No. Well, I've often thought about this: is that Australia, like, if there were a zombie apocalypse in Australia, it would way less access to guns.
Yeah.
In the way that, like, an American movie or TV show
Yeah,
would
exactly.
have us believe that guns are very accessible.
Yeah.
It's just
No,
not.
no.
So what I would consider using as, like, because obviously the kill blow is a strike to the head. So you need something very heavy that you can swing out a bit of a distance.
Yeah.
Because you don't want them in close.
Yeah, you don't want to hold that.
I would probably dismantle a couple of, the computer monitor.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
The stands.
The stands that have like that hold too.
Yeah.
I would probably dismantle that so that I've got like a bit of a
wacky
swinging.
stick.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
So you can get some momentum and
And
force behind
they're quite
it.
heavy. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I'd probably go with those.
Good use of office equipment.
Yeah. Just doing a little virtual
Versatility.
tour around the office. What else could I use? We have a prop didgeridoo that I could start swinging. That's very disrespectful, but I feel like it's the zombie apocalypse.
Yeah.
And
Anything goes at that point in
I
time.
think so.
Yeah.
In any other circumstance, I wouldn't touch that.
How many monitors do you have in your office? Do you say?
Well, there's like nearly 40 of us in there, and we've all got at
Two
least
monitors.
Yeah, 2 monitors. So
you
you're
could,
looking
like,
at
you
there's
could-
definitely over 100
You
monitors.
could
in
armor
there.
yourself with like monitors all over your body. You could come out looking
Somewhat
like
decent, actually.
And then
somewhat. I don't
you
know.
try
It's
and
like
run
samurai
away.
almost.
You're
Transformer
trying
sort
to
of
run. And you're covered in
Who's
monitors.
this
Well,
guy
certainly
trying to
it's-
steal all these monitors? In
It's almost you could use it as a
As a
shield.
shield?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. They're quite heavy though. I
Yeah.
wouldn't be able to strap myself with monitors. So I feel like
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure I'm sleepy.
I can't move
He's
now.
moved 10 meters.
Yeah. I think that's probably if I could get down. Oh no, the downstairs, the car park would be so chock-a-block full of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
All right, so stay put.
So you just stay there and
I would hope to maybe
escape.
escape after a few days.
Yeah.
Would be my plan.
And where would you try
maybe-
to escape to? To home, I guess.
I mean, first of all, I'm assuming that like mobile coverage is out.
Well, I don't reckon straight away,
Nah.
but I reckon after a few days.
A few
it would
days
be.
for sure.
Yeah.
I'd certainly like to check on my partner Lara, see if she's okay. So
So after a few days.
yeah. Well, if I couldn't contact her,
Yeah. Yeah.
So I
that'd
wait
be my
for 4
first chance
days.
to actually
Yeah.
maybe
Okay.
check on her. I'm not saying I've forgotten about her. I'm saying I would at my first convenience I would
First
check
available
on her.
opportunity.
Lara, I have plenty of monitors. I'll bring them over for you.
But the thing is, I think Lara is very resourceful and would survive.
Yeah, okay.
She's very practical and very logical. Her house she would have that barricaded for sure.
Yeah.
And
She's thought through this already.
And she buys, she's never without anything that is essential to her.
Yeah, right.
She always has like,
So you're going to go mooch off her food is what you're saying?
no, I'm saying she'd be alive because she would have survived.
Oh, right, okay.
Because she has plenty of stuff.
Yeah.
She's prepared.
Yeah.
I like that.
Definitely. And I think we'd maybe make a plan from there. I think I would probably try to get home to Rockhampton to see my folks and see if they were okay. And then maybe head for very remote,
Yeah.
yeah.
local, like regional
Heron
areas.
Island.
Yeah.
Somewhere very remote. Yeah.
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 Wow.
With water.
Yes, definitely.
Freshwater
Yeah.
sauce, as we found out.
Actually, there was a show. It wasn't a zombie apocalypse show, but there was I can't remember the name of it, but it was basically the concept was every living thing on the planet with what are the XX and XY chromosomes?
Chromosome.
Which one is male?
Yeah.
X.
Which one is it?
X.
X. Cool. So everything with an X chromosome
Yeah.
just dropped dead.
Yeah.
Did you watch it?
I've seen that, I think.
yeah.
Yeah.
And what it pointed at, and like very, very quickly, a lot of infrastructure started to like fail
Yeah.
because it really highlighted the fact that the patriarchy had really dominated a lot of those like types of work
Yeah.
in the world.
Yeah.
And so things like in New York, the subway system just flooded immediately because
Yeah.
there's a lot of engineers that were required to pump
Yeah.
river water out of there
Yep.
constantly.
Yeah.
And so, there was a lot of infrastructure that failed almost immediately because, unfortunately, those engineering and science and all that sort of stuff were dominated by men.
And I guess if it's a zombie apocalypse, like that's just everyone.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
Yeah.
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 So there's a lot more infrastructure that I think would fail way quicker than
Yeah,
we
seen it.
think.
Yeah. 100%. 100%.
And, you know, there are things that we depend on and rely on blindly every day that we go, oh, well, you just call them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't.
Yeah.
Oh,
how would you get
just
water?
Google it.
Oh, I just turn on the tap.
Exactly.
Actually,
and
that's
so
one thing.
access to fresh water
Yeah.
way harder than,
Yeah.
you know, you're more likely to get fresh water by raiding a 7-Eleven and getting their, you know, packs of 24, you know, Mount Franklin water.
Yeah, yeah. That's actually one thing that we saw that book that had like how to rebuild society.
Yes.
That was really cool.
Yeah, and it just had like all the different lists of things you would need to know and do in order to rebuild.
Yeah. We don't have it because it was like $300. So
Yeah,
didn't buy it, but yeah,
it looked
cool.
good. So I mean, it exists if anyone wants it.
I remember watching it might have been in the early 2000s. I watched a show. It was about scientists had modeled if humans disappeared tomorrow.
Yeah.
What would happen to
What
the
would
Earth?
happen in like 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 50
it's
years,
pretty crazy, eh?
etc. And like within 50 years,
The everything's
plant
been
life-
taken back over.
The plant life reclaims it.
Yeah,
like
everything.
within 50 years. And like, you know, things that are steel, concrete, all of those things, they're just,
They're
Yeah.
they're
green.
crumbled. They're
Yeah.
gone.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's crazy.
Reclaimed very quickly.
Yeah, nice. All right. So we've already gone through a rabbit hole, and we haven't even got to the rabbit hole section. But thank you so much for joining us. We're going to get through to game time next. All right. And then we're going to get to down the rabbit hole with the subliminal messages. Yeah. That was a really
one
long
in there.
pause. Yeah, there was
If you
one.
slow down that.
Yeah, if you reverse that.
Like that, it's
Reverse it.
yeah.
Definitely in it.
Listen to the Penniless podcast. You already are.
Like and subscribe.
Yeah, that's
Going into the next part, doing things really fast with my fingers, yeah. I don't know why I'm doing this with my voice. Okay.
Welcome back.
This is the next bit. Yep. And there we go. And we've got we got music for it as well,
Yeah, ready.
don't we?
This is it. This is what it should be.
This is how it should be, really, isn't
Yeah.
it? Like for this segment, just so
Like
It
everyone.
sets the
elevator.
scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Game time, gotta get a bit of game time in you, in your face, in this place. Yeah, it's game time. Game time.
Game time.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect.
Oh.
I think we'll pull that audio and just use that for the next one. Yeah.
You're welcome.
So as promised, we've brought a game, a good fun game that everyone has been waiting for, including
highly
myself.
requested.
Highly
Highly
requested
requested,
from
yeah.
every single person that we have spoken to in the last week, which is hundreds of people. Some people I don't even know that well.
No.
And they're
And they
like,
just like,
make sure you
"Please."
bring this game to this podcast that you are doing with Tim Price, who everyone seems to know.
No, it's weird.
crazy.
Yeah, they don't know me, but they
Yeah.
know you. So,
Yeah.
well,
This was like the person that was taking my order at McDonald's the other day. You're like, yeah, make sure you do this game. You got to do it for Pricey.
okay. Well, we are going to do it.
Sorry. Down a real rabbit hole there. Sorry, mate.
I insist you take the first question.
Oh, my first question.
You take the first one.
So we're doing a bit of Star Wars trivia.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes. It said 160 of the seriously tricky Star Wars trivia.
Okay.
Are we doing 160 questions?
No, come on. We don't have time
No,
for that.
no.
Oh.
You're not going to do 160. You're going to do 80 each.
Oh, that's better then.
Oh, fine.
Yeah, easy.
Yeah, great.
Let's maybe see how we go with 10.
Like 10 each?
Yeah, sure. We'll see how we go. That's
Okay,
going to
okay.
be quite a bit of time. But
Okay.
We'll see where we go.
Sure.
All right. I don't think it will be. I reckon we just... first, I'm just going to kick you off. I'm going to take you they're the first ones.
Just kick me off the
I
chair.
think they're easy.
Okay. Yep.
Okay, great.
Yep.
So great. Are you going first, James?
Yeah, sure.
Great. What planet is Ray from?
Tatooine. Oh no! I failed already. Ray
What's the
is
correct answer?
Jakku.
Jakku. It is. Yeah, fail. All right. I'm just going to go
What-
now.
Yeah, see yourself out. What is your test question? What planet is Padme Amidala from?
Naboo.
There we go. Okay, so this is where we're at so far. Okay, this is your next one.
Yeah.
This can be yours. True or false?
Oh, good. Thanks. Appreciate it.
50-50.
R2D2 originally had dialogue with actual speaking parts.
I'm going to say true.
Yeah, true. You're right.
Yeah.
That's through your bone on that one. This one is the first appearance of the Emperor was a composite of the character design's wife and which animal?
Oh, it's like a jaguar or something.
It's not a jaguar.
No, I don't know.
It's a chimpanzee.
Oh,
Yeah, it was such a
yeah,
weird
yeah,
look,
yeah.
wasn't it?
Yeah.
it was, and then
Yeah.
they replaced that footage.
Yeah,
With something else later on.
Once
Yeah.
they got Ian
The
McDermott.
text.
It's the eyes. It's the weird. The eyes were really like.
really round looking
Yeah,
and creepy looking. Yeah.
And but yes, it was his wife. That was the bit of trivia I knew about it, was that it was a woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. His wife and chimpanzee. Okay.
Shows
next-
how much he thought of his wife.
Next, it's because she looked nothing like a chimpanzee that he brought the chimpanzee in to put the two together.
Okay,
I
yeah.
would say that's what I would have
She
told her.
looked too nice. So, yeah, right.
This is not the question, but what was Han Solo
Who
frozen
is
in?
this? Who is this for?
This is for James.
Okay.
We'll alternate. What was Han Solo?
Carbonite.
Yeah, so that's good. How long was he frozen for?
I'm going to say 3 years.
No, that's not right. Do you know?
I don't know the exact time, but
Yeah.
it's a fairly significant amount of time. It's
Yeah.
not days.
No, it's not
It's
days.
months.
How many months? Okay, too
The,
long.
the number 3 does come
Nah,
up, so
it
it's
took
3.
about a year.
About a year. Okay.
So the reason I said the 3 years is because Luke became a Jedi Master in that time.
Yeah,
So-
only took him about a year.
yeah,
turns out.
apparently it takes a year to become a Jedi Master.
Who's question? Okay, so this is your question
Yeah.
now.
Okay.
Okay. What is the name of Anakin's stepbrother?
Stepbrother is Owen.
Great.
Oh, yeah.
There's some real easy ones
Trick
in here,
question.
by the
It
way.
is a trick question.
Real
Yeah.
easy ones. Han Solo boasted that the Millennium Falcon made the Kessel Run in less than how many parsecs?
Oh, shit.
Dun, dun,
I'm going to say
dun.
9. Or 7, isn't it?
It's 12.
There we go.
Oh, man. I should have
And it's
brushed
a measure
up on
of
this stuff.
distance, not time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
What was the first character to speak in the first Star Wars film A New Hope?
It's C-3PO.
Yeah, it is. Well done.
This is madness.
This is the level I'm playing against here.
Yeah, it's true. In what movie did Yoda not appear? James?
A New Hope.
Well done.
Yeah.
Well done.
I had to think about it first. But yeah.
Which actor is the only one who's appeared in every single Star Wars movie to date?
Anthony Daniels.
Yeah, C-3PO.
Yep.
Well done. I'll take a version of, but do you recall what Padme's last words were?
Oh. It's like you're killing me or something like that. Nah, I can't remember.
Is it she names the 2 children, Luke
Nah.
and Leia? And then there's something about there's good in him.
There we go.
Yeah.
There's good in
there's
him.
good in
There's
him.
good
There's
in
still
him.
good in him.
Right.
Yeah, there's good in him. I know there is.
Okay, I was
Yeah.
thinking on Mustafar where she's
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah. What kind of vehicle did Rey live in?
Downed AT-AT.
Yeah, correct. What happened to Anakin Skywalker during the battle with Count Dooku?
He lost his right arm.
Well done. See, now we're getting some.
Yeah.
Who killed Jabba?
Leia.
Yeah, well done.
Strangled.
What did Jar Jar Binks end up owing Qui-Gon Jinn
Exactly it.
after
Sorry.
being rescued during the invasion of Naboo?
Oh, I didn't hear the part.
What did Jar Jar Binks end up owing Qui-Gon Jinn after being rescued during the
Life
invasion of
debt.
Naboo? Yeah, on a jet. Yep. What is the color of C-3PO's arm in Star Wars The Force Awakens?
Red.
It is red.
Yeah.
Who adopted Padme Amidala's daughter? James?
Senator Organa.
Organa, correct. See? Do you know where the Hoth sequences were filmed?
It's
What were you going to say just then? You were going to say somewhere.
it's Norway.
Yeah, it is Norway. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
I didn't know that one.
Lucky it didn't land on you then, huh? Who freed Princess Leia from her chains at Jabba's palace? James?
Oh, R2D2.
R2D2. See, if you asked me stuff like this, I would not have known.
Oh.
Who fixed the hyperdrive on the Millennium Falcon? Pricey?
Fix the hyperdrive.
Mm-hmm.
R2D2.
R2D2. Correct.
Yeah. He's really the hero of the whole series.
Really
I'm
is.
right. It's
Really
appearing
is.
that way. Who killed Jango Fett? James?
Mace Windu.
Yes, correct. When Obi-Wan performed the blood test on Anakin, how high was the
Midichlorian.
midichlorian count? In a range, so more than
3,000.
more than
Master Yoda.
no, yeah, but an amount like more than.
It's millions. It's in the millions.
I don't
Do you
know.
know?
I think it was 1,400, was it? Or
More
something?
than 20,000.
20,000.
Yeah. Okay. How many lightsabers does General Grievous wield in his fight with Obi-Wan?
Who's this up for? Is it for James or me?
It's for James.
All right.
4.
4, correct. Well done. That surprised me. Well done. I didn't know the answer. So I'm like, oh my God, I'm impressed that you guys know this.
Technically, he picks up another one or something.
Yeah, he's
you know,
got
so-
more on his belt, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah. Who offered to lead the attack against the Death Star?
Lando.
Yes, correct. See, again, I'm like, huh. James, what did the Ewoks think C-3PO was?
Their god.
Perfect. What did R2-D2 realise about C-3PO when they first met?
What did he realise? about
Yeah, what did he
Oh,
notice?
that he was naked.
That he was naked.
That he was naked. Yeah.
Correct. James, what was the diameter of the first Death Star?
Diameter.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
How girthy was it?
This is going to be a real feel for
that's
the
it.
answer.
Yeah, I wouldn't have a clue where to start there.
So diameter.
Yeah. Do you understand what diameter is? Or would you
Yeah,
like to
it's
give me?
the distance in between, like from
From one
point
side to
point,
the other. Yeah.
Let's say, is it in kilometers or something?
Yeah, kilometers.
Okay. Let's say 400 kilometers.
120 kilometers.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I wouldn't
Yeah.
have it. I
Hard
wouldn't
to
have a clue.
judge, really, isn't it? Because
Yeah.
there's no here's something relevant.
scale, yeah.
Correct.
But
that you
then
can put
the
next
only
to it.
scale that I do know is that the first one to the second one
Yeah.
is like
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
10
lot
times.
bigger.
Yeah.
Like it's intensely
Huge.
bigger. Yeah.
Okay, so your next question is who gave FN2187 his new name when they found out he didn't have a real name?
Poe.
Poe. Yep,
Yep.
correct. James, how many Rathtars did Han and Chewbacca have on their ship?
Heaps.
How many?
There was more.
I don't know. 12?
3.
3. Okay.
This is probably my favourite question.
Amazing.
Yeah. How many meals does Jabba consume per day?
How many meals?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
It's obviously mentioned at some point. I've not picked it up. 9.
Yeah, no. Oh,
9.
No, I didn't know that one.
Which,
No, no
kind of
idea.
makes sense, really.
Yeah.
He's a healthy looking bloke.
Maybe a couple more questions.
Okay. all
What
right.
did Yoda, so this is yours, James, what did Yoda tell Obi-Wan after he said that boy is our last hope?
There is another.
There is another. You are correct. Yeah. They were really easy. Who said, feel, do not think, trust your instincts?
That's Obi-Wan.
It's not.
Oh, is it Yoda?
No, it's
No,
not.
not even that. What? Feel, do not think, trust your instincts.
Yeah.
Luke Skywalker.
Oh, it's Qui-Gon Jinn.
It is.
Oh,
it
it would
is.
be, yeah.
It is.
Yeah, well, he says it to Anakin in the pod race.
Yeah. How old was Yoda, James, when Luke returned to complete his training?
900 and something.
He was 900 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah, well done. See, again, I'm like, wow, this is crazy. Who told Rey, I'm no Jedi, but I know the Force?
What's her name? Little orange lady.
With the cool glasses
Yeah.
and the great eyes. You know the answer
What's
to
her
this.
name?
But not on.
Maz
Kanata.
Kanata.
Yeah.
Well done. We'll have to take a 50%.
Yeah. 50%. What's
We're
the
going to
score,
do a
by the way?
counter.
Yeah, yeah,
We're going
yeah.
to do a counter on this.
Yeah,
You'll
I'll
have
put
to-
his counter on the
yeah.
screen because
Yeah.
I've definitely lost
Yeah,
count.
me
But
too.
I feel like a winner either way.
Yeah. Do you want one to jump in on, like the final answer?
Oh, yeah, why not?
Okay.
So, it's really difficult.
Do we have a buzzer or something? We're just going to yell in front of each other.
Your name.
Okay.
Your name will be the buzzer. This is okay. Oh, this would be interesting. Do you know how many spires does the Jedi Temple have?
Pricey.
Yep,
5.
it does.
Oh,
Well
does.
done.
There's
So-
one in the middle and there's
Four
one
on the
each
outs.
corner.
Yeah, 4 on the outside.
Well done. That was just a sample of the 160 questions.
Wow.
There was
Yeah.
a lot
Some
of
of those
really,
are really good.
some of them were really easy. Like, what breed is the Wookiee? Oh, well, there's Chewbacca.
Chewbacca is a
yeah,
Wookiee.
Is a
Yeah,
Wookiee.
yep.
So, and then what was the interesting one was what animal was the Porg based on?
Oh, it's a puffin.
It's based on a puffin.
Yeah.
Yeah, which
Because they were all over that island.
correct.
That they
And rather
filmed
than
on.
try and get rid of them all, they just turned them into Porgs
'Cause they
and
were-
then lent into it.
They were going to try and digitally erase them all. And they're like, oh,
Yeah,
fuck.
nah.
What a nightmare.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that was actually fun, and I'm impressed. However it ends up, I'm super impressed at the amount you guys know about that.
Yeah, I
That's
had
very
fun.
cool.
Can we
Yeah.
keep going? Or? No, I'm joking.
Yeah, great. Okay,
We could probably
and we're
keep
done.
going all night.
Yeah.
I genuinely have all of this stuff just rattling around in my brain.
Yeah.
And there's no practical
Yeah.
application for it except for
This
stuff
right
like
now.
this.
Situations like
Yes.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great stuff. All right, let's move on to down the rabbit
thank you
hole.
for that. That was fun.
Down the rabbit hole. Going down to rabbit hole.
It's Usher vibes.
Yeah, I know, right? What? Tell me what are you doing on Tuesday? No, Wednesday and Thursday.
That's
Sorry.
Craig David.
Yeah, I know. You're welcome. All right, cool. So this is Down the Rabbit Hole, as you would have gotten from the song lyrics that I was just doing, and it's not about the days of the week.
And it's not about rabbits.
No, there's no rabbits. And
No.
apparently a rabbit hole has a warren.
Yes. Which you learnt last week.
I
live.
learned last week
Yeah.
that you go in a rabbit hole
The
and
things-
it's not a rabbit hole.
the
It's a
things we
hole of
teach-
holes and
the
there's
things we
warren.
teach people.
It's called a warren.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
could have named it Bob, but they went with Warren.
Exactly. Exactly. So what we're talking about in today's little Down the Rabbit Hole is like subliminal messages, some little swapsy doodles, and what's happened with like artists during, because there's theories around like artists leaving and
Yeah. People want
being
out.
replaced and stuff like that. So that's what we're talking about.
Yep.
And I thought we could start with like the subliminal messages
Yep.
stuff.
Yep.
So my biggest thing for subliminal messages is Josie and the Pussycats.
Oh,
This was
yeah.
gonna be
What
my
a
one-
great movie.
This was going to be my one contribution, and this is what you're leading with.
Yeah, well, tell me about it. What is it?
Such a good movie.
Cracking
Right, can we
movie.
just talk about the
Criminally underrated.
fact? Oh,
It really is.
they had to learn. Well, they didn't have to. They chose to learn their instruments so they could authentically
Yeah.
play them. Like, I mean,
dedication.
Let's not even get into subliminal messages. That by itself, impressive.
Teaching Tara Reid the drums.
I know.
Yeah.
Whoever
Exactly.
had that
Probably
job.
at the height of like drug-addled brain as well.
Yeah.
Like
They're
that's
like, come on, you can do it. Yeah.
Yeah. And she did. And then
she
it
did.
happened.
Yeah. So it is actually my reference point for subliminal messages that the music industry, and I think also thinking about advertisements. So where the money comes from now is, product placement and advertisements, and that you would take over the music industry to have different little whispering thoughts underneath the music that your brain can hear but your conscious isn't aware of. So you just think it's a catchy song and actually it's like, go drink Pepsi Max, go have some McDonald's. Like,
Yeah, blue is now in, red is out. Yeah, just so everyone's aware, Josie and the Pussycats was a movie back in
early 2000s.
Early 2000s. Yeah.
It was also, it was a TV show well before that.
Was it?
It's an old TV show.
It's based on a comic book
Yeah.
from like it was a spin-off of the Archie.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Josie and the Pussycats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Josie
And then-
Josie is like lives in Riverdale.
Yeah.
So Josie is Archie.
No.
Josie is in Archie comic books.
So
Josie's Archie's girlfriend.
No, that's
linking
Betty and
worlds.
Veronica.
Linking
Betty was-
worlds. Yeah.
they're and
based
same
on
as
the-
Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
They're in the same universe?
Yeah.
It's in
hell yeah.
Riverdale.
Wow.
They're all in Riverdale. Yeah.
You're like, hold on, we've gone down a different rabbit hole.
My mind is like blown here.
Yeah.
Is Peanuts got to do with it?
No.
I'm sure there's peanuts in the world, but Okay. No,
Yeah.
that's good. Rivendell.
Riverdale.
So obviously the elves were there too.
Yeah, correct. So do you think it could actually happen? Does it happen? Do we think? Has it happened in the past?
Do you want to explain it to everyone what actually happened in the movie?
Well, in the movie, it was exactly like I said. So they had, all of their music that they were putting out that they thought that they were signed for, and other bands before them that were also killed off because they found out the truth.
That's right. There was the boy band in it.
Du jour.
Du jour.
Du jour means friendship.
Such a good movie. And and I just remember them being in the plane crash and they
Yeah.
thought that they were dead. And
But
then
they weren't
they're like in like comical casts of their whole body just moving along. Yeah, that was great.
And they were taken advantage of, and subliminal messages were put in their music.
Yeah.
And they were influencing just millions of people around the world.
Yeah.
To do whatever the government wanted them to do.
Yeah. So the record label was
Yes.
like the bad guys in this.
Correct.
And they were working with like
Well,
companies to get
There was
certain things
product
in place.
placement and things like that. But I think there was also like some type of government or terrorist type interaction as
something
well.
like that. Yeah, I don't know. That's right. And the main record label lady, she was just trying to get everyone to love her.
That's right. That's right.
I remember. Anyway,
So
Yeah.
does that actually happen?
I think the probably like most conspiracy theories is that the truth's probably more dark than the theory. Is probably that the more heinous thing is probably that they don't need to. And that there's we've kind of come almost like full circle. Like certainly in the 90s, like when I was growing up, the kind of music I listened to and everything was, and certainly from, that grunge era onwards was a very
establishment. guys.
anti-establishment
Yeah.
type attitude. And that, and that certainly inspired that sort of alternative music movement through the 90s and into the early 2000s. But then as, things have progressed, like, and there was a real shame to that, like, quote unquote, selling out. and
Yeah,
signing
it's huge. Yeah,
and,
don't sell
and
it.
whatever.
Yeah.
And now is very much like,
The complete
take
opposite.
whatever money you can
Yeah.
get and don't worry too much about like what messaging you're having to
Yeah.
put out, and like, so like for instance,
Yeah, that's true. You're talking about like TikTok and
Yeah.
how
Yeah.
they're
So,
they're
like-
eating sushi. Oh, yum, sushi.
and so
Yeah.
I don't begrudge him this because like he's a very talented guy. He's an incredible, like he's doing incredible things. He's like the number of streams and the exposure around the world that this guy has, the Kid Leroy.
Okay.
And like, but he's out here doing like a McDonald's ad.
Yeah.
Like he's literally,
right.
you know, talking to the camera like, this is the new big thing out there, McCrispy. And like, it's worked on me. I've seen the ad and I'm like, but I'm also like, oh, it's like coming from that like sort of old school of like growing up in the 90s and that like, you know, quote unquote, like I said, selling out was was such a sin. Like I can't help but cringe at that. But like younger generations, that's not an issue. They don't particularly have an issue with that.
So what you're saying is the reality is we don't need subliminal messages because it's just blatant, obvious. We don't need to be secret about it.
That's
we're
what I
just
think
like,
we're at. That's where I think we're at. Yeah.
This is what you need to do.
But back in the day, it was more subliminal, do you think?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I think that the more heinous thing these days is that they're not even hiding anymore.
Yeah.
Join the Navy? Is that what you're talking about?
Even at Neodge, yeah. From The Simpsons, yeah.
Explain that.
Even at Neodge. That was the song, and they're singing. They're singing on like a big warship.
Yeah.
It's like Bart and his friends are all a boy group,
And
they're singing about like the subliminal messages join the Navy. Yeah.
yeah, right.
There was
Because
a
it's backwards, yeah.
Yeah.
There was a whole thing back in the day of like, do you know if you play this song backwards? Like
Yeah.
it tells you like there's a message hidden in there. But, I don't know that any of those are actually true, but it was definitely talked about.
Certainly. And like the Beatles definitely had like the famous one is the Helter Skelter
Helter Skelter.
was the one where because there's also that link to Charles Manson as well with that was that, he was trying desperately to become pals with them and write songs with them.
Yeah, right.
And then like once the Beatles told him to fuck off,
yeah.
like he then went to the Beach Boys and that's like he wrote songs and hung out
Wow.
with the Beach Boys.
Marilyn Manson.
No, Charles
Charles
Manson.
Manson.
Yeah, right. Not Marilyn
You're like,
Manson.
that makes more sense.
Charles Manson.
He would have been
The
young.
serial killer.
Yeah, no, I'm stirring. So he was with the Beach Boys. He did stuff with the Beach Boys.
I can't remember which one of the Beach Boys was, but he was like they were pals. Like
Yeah,
hung
right.
out heaps. Yeah,
Yeah.
did acid together and stuff.
Yeah, wow. Talking about acid.
I didn't think that was going to be a link, but yeah.
No, so John Lennon,
Yep.
he started doing acid and marijuana and was messing around with that reverse
Yeah.
music a lot.
Yeah.
I think this was around 66.
What was it that we were
69.
talking? It was like backtracking.
I can't even remember what it was called.
It's something like that, yeah.
Backtracking. So
Yeah.
and they used it in like a lot of their like music, not just like vocals, but they used it for like their guitars and stuff. So one of their solos
okay.
they did was they reversed it and
cool.
put that in there. So from that that's where there was big talk of that around that 66 mark and that's when that stuff happened with the Paul McCartney stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the stuff that I find fascinating about this is that like, you've got such Beatlemania going on at that time.
Yeah.
The fact that they're doing things like having, Beatle lookalike contests and
Yeah.
things like that they've actually, so this theory is that 1967 comes around, they're recording somewhere, Paul drives off in his, flash car this one night, crashes, dies. They keep it a secret. And they replace him with this guy that got like third place in a lookalike contest.
Wow.
Yeah, and so the theory goes, and then has been a different guy this whole time since 1967, but then also then did subliminal messaging, I think in songs.
Yeah.
But then also in their like cover art going forward. So the next ones that came out, I think even from like the White Album onwards.
Yeah.
Like just like talking about how like Paul is the walrus and shit like that. But then also like,
Do you reckon they were just like high and messing with everyone?
they've definitely come out and saying later we were fucking with people.
Yeah,
It was because we'd heard of these things.
Yeah.
So they just lent into it. And
They
was
did.
like-
Well, so I don't know if they necessarily did it for like the cover of Sgt. Pepper's, but there's apparently there's whole papers written on the visual subliminal messaging that is in the because there's just so much going on in the Sgt. Pepper's cover art. But then, then the Abbey Road one where, supposedly you've got John Lennon at the front in the white suit. So he's the preacher man.
Yeah.
And then you've got second in line is must be Ringo.
Yeah.
And he's dressed in just a regular suit. So he's like the pallbearer.
Yeah.
Then there's Paul, who's the corpse because he's got no shoes on.
Yeah.
And then you've got George Harrison at the back in denim.
Yeah.
So he's the working man. He's the gravedigger.
Yeah, right.
And so that's the theory on that they're subliminally saying
he's dead.
He's dead.
It's a bit of a stretch.
It's a big
stretch.
But you can make
he doesn't
things
have
out of it.
shoes on, so
Yeah.
But I think this is the
And he
kind of
wasn't a
mania
hippie.
that was able to flourish pre-internet.
Yeah. There was another thing on that. The VW license plate. Did you know about this?
No, what's on that?
So this is on that same Abbey Road
Photo.
the album cover. So the VW Beatle license plate in the background
It's on
says,
the left-hand side?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it says 28 IF because
Okay.
Paul would have been 28
If
if
he
he was still
lived.
alive.
Oh, come on.
I know.
wow.
And if you play I'm So Tired backwards,
Yeah.
John says, Paul is dead, man. Miss him, miss him, miss him.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was the backwards track stuff that happened. That was in 1969.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I think as much as you say like pre-internet, and I get how like people are really just trying to look into everything and have limited information. I think similar to that, this definitely wasn't on our card to talk about today, but it was pointed out to me that, you could get the Swifties, Taylor Swift fans, involved in anything and they could hunt down whatever you need to.
Yeah.
Because from the very start, she has meticulously dropped tiny bits of information to get them looking for whatever possible. So I don't know if you know, but initially the reason why she started capitalizing different letters to make a message in her lyrics book was just because she wrote all of her music and she was so passionate about her lyrics and what her songs meant that she wanted her fans to read her lyrics.
Amazing.
So she would capitalize the start of different words
yeah.
to have a message throughout it. And so as this kind of eventuated, she would start dropping hints every time she was going to release a CD or anytime something else was going to come out. And so she's just trained them to really clue search for all these
Easter
different
eggs.
things.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's become a real popular kind of culture too,
Yeah.
with like Marvel movies and
Yeah.
with lots of things like that. Are you right there, Celeste? Celeste doesn't like Tim. Sorry, Tim.
Oh.
I don't think she likes Taylor Swift was the real
Yeah, that's
thing there.
probably what it is.
Yeah, that's
Or I've
fine.
got something to say. So talking about like subliminal messages, just to come back to that, another band that was, it got actually pretty out of hand in the 90s, early 90s. Apparently Judas Priest got sued for their subliminal messages because apparently the government at the time was thinking that it was causing teens to unalive themselves.
Oh,
Yeah.
Judas Priest.
Yep. Apparently Judas Priest was sued
wow.
for allegedly causing teens to unalive themselves with subliminal messages.
Wow, that's
Do
like
you
the
know what?
ultimate like subliminal message, isn't it? It's extreme. You're not trying to make money. Like that's
I do wonder.
Yeah, no money there.
I do wonder if, and I mean, because we're talking early 90s there, like, I do wonder if there's an undercurrent of homophobia there, just being that Rob Halford was a gay man,
Yeah.
a very
Yeah.
proudly
Yeah.
gay man.
yeah. What can we
one of the
potentially
first in metal.
claim?
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
And, you know,
Wow.
that would have been pretty, like, it would have been on the tail end, but of that sort of HIV AIDS
Yeah.
hysteria of the 80s as well.
Yeah,
So
witch
it
hunt
does,
to-
it
yeah.
does make me wonder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If,
Yeah,
and
I'd
I
say
mean,
so.
early 90s as well, if it was pre-Clinton, it would have been Reagan. So it would have been...
Yeah, there was no Clinton actually was the
No, Bush. It would have been Bush. It would have been Bush Senior.
So they were actually going to. I read this and I can't.
See, I'm
find
throwing
it
out
now,
conspiracy theories of my own here.
So
They tried to shut down Rob Halford because he was gay.
Yeah, great. All right, no, so that's correct. It was before Bill Clinton's time,
Yeah.
and just around Bill Clinton when he came in, they were trying to put a bill in place to make sure that they couldn't put subliminal messages in recordings.
music, yeah.
And Bill Clinton stopped it.
Ah.
Yeah.
So
Hero,
hold
hero
on.
or villain there. Like,
Yes.
do you know what I mean?
So there is no law against it?
You didn't
So
know there
I
was two
can-
people in that photo of Bill Clinton. You haven't seen that? It's all over the internet. It's a picture of Bill Clinton
At
at the
his
desk.
desk.
And it's like, people didn't know that there was two people in this photo.
Monica Lewinsky's in there
Yeah. Monica Lewinsky joke.
in the blue dress.
Blue dress.
Yeah, that was the dress that she
Oh.
had to submit for evidence
Oh.
because it had DNA on it.
DNA.
Like hair or something.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely that.
Yeah, definitely hair.
So the thing that came up when we were talking about the Swifties earlier, and the reason I got put onto it was I was watching a TikTok and it said, have we actually asked the Swifties to get on the case of where Kate Middleton is?
Okay,
It's
so
probably a good group of people to put on the case for sure.
So I've been seeing a bit of this stuff
Yeah.
around. So Kate Middleton is the
Middleton.
middle.
Middleton?
Is it?
Yeah.
It's
Middleton.
not Middleton. Okay, sorry. So she's a part of royalty.
Yeah.
Isn't she married to Edward?
William.
William.
William, right?
Yeah.
So shouldn't she have a different last name?
Yes.
So she's not Kate Middleton
Well, she's
Town now.
She's Princess Kate. Princess Catherine.
What is the royals' last names?
They don't generally have last names. They have they're given titles. They're given titles. The Queen, I think the Queen had a last name, but I can't remember what it was.
Do they have last names?
Spencer, isn't it? No,
Oh, no,
that was
Diana.
Diana.
Yeah.
Isn't
Nah.
it of Windsor or?
Yeah, so they have they're given a title
Yeah.
instead.
So they only have one name.
I mean, in this case,
They're like
Kate,
Prince.
Kate already had one.
No, who's the one that was
When
just
she-
one name now? Was it Prince?
Yeah.
He's got
Madonna?
just Madonna?
Yeah.
So they're like
Drake.
Drake.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're
Does
like.
Drake-
Drake.
Does Drake not have a last name?
I don't care.
Does anyone know what it is? I think it's the same point. Kate has gone missing.
Yeah.
Okay,
In
like
the
she's
way
run
that-
away.
In the way that, well, we don't know. In the way that she has not been seen by the public since Christmas.
28th December.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's a long time to
It
be
is.
missing.
It
I feel
is.
like they should have had like posters up on city streets and everything.
well, I don't think she's genuinely missing, as in they don't know where she is. It's
Okay.
just that the public have not seen
Yeah.
her. So it all started as she went in to have planned abdominal surgery, is what the message was, and that she was going to be in there for 2 weeks and then she would be recovering at home after that. However, at the time it was already a conspiracy theory because they were thinking they said that to try and distract everyone from what was going on with Charles.
okay.
But then he came out and said that he has colon cancer. So that they already announced that. So it seemed a bit weird. So they've now everyone's been backtracking, and what they found out is, there's evidence that Kate went in. They saw Charles go in, Charles go out. They never saw Kate come out. So no, she has not been spotted leaving the hospital that she went into.
Okay. So you reckon
Whoa.
they've lost her in there or something?
No. So there's a few theories
Maybe
around.
they've given the wrong tag to her or something.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. So she's either still in there and they think that one of the theories is that the surgery went really wrong
It's been,
and that she's
hectic
been in a coma.
complications. Yeah.
Yeah, that she's been
that's
put in
one
a
I read.
medical coma. So she's actually not come out of that.
Yeah.
So that's one theory. One theory is that she hasn't survived.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Or that would surely be the end of the monarchy if they were to cover up something
Which,
like that.
yeah, but would it be the end anyway?
And it came out.
Is she the stability and are they scrambling right now? One of the other theories is that she did a runner, took the kids, did a runner. This whole surgery thing didn't happen. She wants a divorce.
Right.
And
Yeah.
because of what's happening, so maybe she did have a surgery and then she went home and she's been recovering, but she did run it with the kids. And because they found out that Charles has cancer,
Yeah.
at some point she's going to perhaps become a monarch, a queen.
The king consort.
Yeah, I don't know. So she needs to decide, like, this is her last chance to really kind of get out.
Okay. Lots of pressure going on.
And this
Yeah.
is all somewhat triggered by they released a photo for
Yeah. Mother's Day.
Mother's Day. That's it.
Yeah.
I
And
saw this.
It was their
Yeah.
Mother's Day in
the UK.
In the UK.
Yeah.
And it was
Doctored.
terribly photoshopped.
Terribly photoshopped. And she didn't release it. It was released on her behalf.
Yeah.
And she wasn't wearing her wedding ring either.
Oh, I didn't
And
catch that
yeah,
detail.
so they say that it was so doctored, it was very evident that was the case. And then there was a kill order put on it by the royal family, just please no one continue sending this photo out, and it was pulled down. And the message that was posted on her social media was by her that said, oh yes, I too, like others, am an amateur photographer and like to apply filters and changes to my photos, which is not what this was.
Okay.
So now they're like, okay, can someone just show, like, can she just present herself, please? Because this is just getting weirder and weirder.
It really is.
And they haven't.
No, they have not.
Yeah, right.
She has
have
still
you-
not been seen.
Like, have you watched I know the Crown's not exactly a reliable source on
No, I haven't.
on the monarchy, but when you watch that and you see the inside, like I said, it's not the real chats that happen,
Yeah.
but if you look at the way that they make their decisions and the way that they talk about, like, the decisions that they make are odd.
Yeah.
Because they're
trying to control everything.
Factor,
Yeah.
they try to factor like tradition
Yeah.
into it, and like this is what traditionally would have happened.
Yeah.
And then you've got the sort of
This is
older
what's
generations.
expected of
this is
us.
what's expected.
Yeah.
And then there's like factions going, but we need to be more modern.
Yeah, so
And
this is what we
they're
want for the future.
This
Yeah.
is very wax on, wax off.
One of the other things, so this is, unfortunately, I've watched a couple of videos and now it's all over my TikTok. One of the other things is that there is a royal event in June
Okay.
that all of the royal family, it's mandatory. They're required to attend. Her name has been removed from the list of attendees.
Whoa.
And that's in June.
Wow.
So, yes. So, anyway,
Williams is on there though.
yeah, still on there. So,
What about their kids?
kids are on there.
Kids are on there.
Just hers has been removed. So,
Oh, that is sus.
can we get the
sus.
Swifties involved?
Can we get the Swifties? Because they will
I
find
put it
out
to you,
everything.
they already are.
Yeah. This is how things are being uncovered, I reckon.
Yeah.
But I think that's quite interesting. And then, maybe they're scrambling to find someone who looks just like her. Like maybe
They're pulling a Paul.
maybe they've got a doppelganger and she's in training, right? So they've had one in waiting and they're just getting her up to speed before they put her out to the press. And
This
then
is like that movie
Surely
you
not.
watched with the twins. What
Parent Trap.
Yeah, this is exactly Parent
It's
Trap.
exactly Parent
No,
Trap.
I was talking about that Christmas movie you watched with the one out of High School Musical,
Oh, yeah, the Princess Switch.
Princess Switch.
Yeah, and then the Princess
my
Switch
God.
2, and then number 3 is really good as well. There's 3 of them. Vanessa Hudgens plays all 3 parts.
Oh my God.
It's
3
ridiculous.
terrible accents, by the way.
Yeah, and then it's terrible.
But
movie.
it wouldn't be the first time that we've switched out a celebrity, would it?
No, I guess not. Well, we don't know, but like there is other
There's a theory of Avril Lavigne being
Avril
swapped
Lavigne
out as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So what's the theories around that? Are you down on that stuff?
I don't know tons about it, but I do know that there was and it might have been about the time that she married Chad Kroger.
Okay.
That like from that whatever album on around that time that she married
Yeah.
Chad Kroger, she was a totally different.
Yeah.
Like, she has a different look. Her body, like her face shape is different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She sings about different things and different
Yeah.
tones. And
Yeah.
like she's a totally different
Just
person.
imagine a doppelganger just
Yeah.
being like her, but not quite her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something's off.
Yeah. she was very... So
I don't
she,
necessarily buy this one, but
No, I just feel like she had a particular look. And I think where it's come from is fans were used to her being a bit of a vibe, a bit of a skater chick vibe. And then all of a sudden she's like preppy and just very feminine perhaps. And
do you reckon that's come from like, say, I don't want to be like, people change when they go with their new partners, but certainly there are people that do change and they there's
sure.
What do they call that? I don't know, more clay kind of people. I don't know what you call it. Anyway,
I've heard people describe like that as like lyrebirds, like that. They're sort of
depending on who you're with.
Yeah.
I mean, she also was really young when she started, like when she was releasing her first music. And so imagine the change, maybe not you, I don't know. I imagine the change I went through between, when I was 16 to being 30. I feel like I'm
Different
not the same person that I was when I was 16. So I think people were really
what would you
clutching
say
at
are
straws.
different?
they
about
cling
you.
to the idea of the person.
What she was.
Yeah.
What was different?
What's different about you than 16-year-old you?
At 16, I really wanted to impress the people that I hung around with.
Okay.
And now I really couldn't give a shit.
Could care less?
Yeah, I couldn't care less.
Sorry, that's American.
Yeah, I could care less. Could
No.
you?
Sorry,
anyway,
sorry. Here we go.
Different rabbit hole. And I just think the way that I behaved was influenced by the people that I hung around with. And, some things remain the same. I mean, the foods that I like remain the same. The music I like remains the same. But maybe the way that I behave or how impressionable I am is different now to then. I used to wear only shorts and band tees until I was like, 21. And then all of a sudden I was just like dresses all the way. So I think physically I look very different and the way that I dress is very different to then.
Yeah, that's true. And I know like your face and stuff will change as well over
Has
time.
my face changed?
No, not yours, but mine has
Generally.
Like
Generally.
Just with gravity and
I've got like a
faces
little bit of hair. Yeah, and that's another thing too with the sun being on like one side when you drive, one side of your face changes with the sun and stuff like that. Did you know that?
if you don't wear sunscreen.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Or, yeah,
You
maybe
get
she's
sort of
out-
more weathered on one side.
Yeah.
Well,
And-
they've looked at
and
that
if
with
she
truck
And it'd be the
drivers.
opposite side if you're an American.
Yeah, exactly. Because the way the water swirls around different.
Yeah,
on that
it's
as well,
different.
yeah.
It's the
Another
opposite.
Simpsons reference.
There was also all of the stuff around, Elvis didn't die. Elvis
Oh,
was just he wanted
yeah.
he wanted a break. He actually he was done. He just needed some family time.
There are some people in this world who self-proclaim are
Elvis.
Elvis.
Yeah.
Like
They're-
living in retirement homes
Correct.
and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Just
right.
I'd had enough.
Yeah.
I'm Elvis Presley, and I let I wanted to do that for my family, and I think at that point the family was going to kind of break up anyway, so I just like walked away and wanted to live a quiet life.
Yeah, because his life was pretty full on, wasn't it?
I mean, he
Yeah.
was very heavily at that point into drugs and stuff. Like maybe he went into rehab and just like I just need a complete change of life.
Yeah.
I find it wild that his manager never, and I'd never occurred to me until someone told me that he never performed outside the US.
Oh, really?
His manager didn't let him
Wow.
because their contract was such that he wouldn't be.
He wouldn't get paid.
He wouldn't get paid for stuff outside the
The
US.
manager.
So his manager never let him perform outside the
Wow.
US.
Wow.
So
Dick
that's why he
manager
never
move.
did a world tour. He never.
Yeah.
So that's why I just worked him,
just
just Vegased him, like
Yeah.
as much as he
right.
could.
yeah, because that was where he was just making bank in Vegas,
Yeah.
and his manager was just loving life based off that. And so
Yeah, I mean-
it was like it was the devil he knew. So he's like, well, we're just going to keep milking this.
Have you seen the movie?
No, it
Me
looked
neither.
it looked terrible in the trailer, and I was like, I'm not going to watch that.
Yeah.
No, I didn't want to be disappointed by it.
But it also
wasn't interested.
it did bother me that like I didn't want to support a film made in Queensland. Like,
Yeah.
But I'm
Yeah.
also like, I don't want to fucking watch that. It looks
Yeah, okay.
terrible.
Well, you know what? After this, I'm going to watch it. I mean, not directly after this, but at some point in
Yeah.
the next 2 weeks,
I'm
I'm going to
quite
watch it.
sleepy.
Yeah. I've had enough for today, but I will go and watch it. But I still think, that's interesting. I mean, the same thing for Michael Jackson.
Yep.
There's a Michael Jackson biopic being made right now.
Is there really?
By
Nef-
Michael
isn't-
Jackson?
No,
Does it
his
star
well, his
Michael Jackson?
or maybe a clone of him, perhaps, because his nephew is playing him.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Wow.
right.
Yeah.
So do you think Michael Jackson is still alive? Or?
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so either.
No.
He was a mess right at the end. He
really was.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of people I think that hold on to hope and look for signs. So there's, there's different things that people say in videos, that they'll look at different things and they'll go back in their recent footage, but just before when they passed away and things like that, and look for like they blinked at this time or they pointed to this thing, or there was something on their wall that said this. Like very much look into the detail, and I think that's really grasping at hope. Because it's such a big part when you are that far into like following them. It's a big part of your identity and it's a big part of your life, and then they're not here anymore. Yeah.
The one that really messed with me was Prince. When he died. I liked his music beforehand, but didn't realize like how much of an impact it had had on me.
Yeah.
And then when he died, and I really did a big dive on his music, and I was like, Jesus, this guy was so intensely talented. But then the really super Christian stuff weirded me out as well. Yeah. I was just like, oh, okay. But like, have you looked into any of the really weird stuff around him?
No.
Oh man, there's a great story that Kevin Smith tells.
Okay.
So it started from Kevin Smith was making the Jay and Silent Bob movie.
Oh yeah. And like the newer one that came out.
The Jay and Silent Bob.
Yep. Strike Back.
Yeah, the original one. And they wanted a Prince song for the how they all it ends on the stage and they're performing. They wanted
Jungle Love. Yeah.
The time.
Jungle Love.
They wanted a Prince song for there.
Yeah.
And they rang up Prince and said, we want to license Get Off, I think.
Okay.
Or something.
Yeah.
And he went, no. But you can have Jungle Love.
Yeah.
Because they're on my label.
Yeah.
Oh.
You can have the time.
Yeah.
And so then Prince saw the movie.
Yeah.
And Prince went, hey, come down to Paisley Park.
Yeah.
I'm releasing a new album. I want you, Kevin Smith, to film and direct a documentary about the release of my new album.
Yeah,
Wow.
right. That's
And he was
cool.
like, all right. Sure. He's like me.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
He's like, well, you want me. You want the guy who did
Jane
Dogma.
Silent Bob. Yeah, Dogma.
you want the guy who made Dogma.
Yeah.
This is a gospel album you're making.
Yeah.
He's like, are you sure? And he's like, yeah. And they're just like, don't swear,
Yeah.
And so he brings him out. And this is back when they were filming on actual film.
Yeah.
And has him like interview people all weekend, film him. So he's got this weekend where he's just invited Prince fans to just come to Paisley Park and just listen to the new album, give him feedback.
Yeah.
Listen to Prince talk about the new album, what it means to him, da. So he's just like filming. And end of the weekend, and he's been given very little instruction too.
Yeah,
It's
right.
just
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
just
Just
turn
like film
up,
some
just film it.
stuff and just
Turn
like
up and film, right?
make
He's got a
little-
crew with him.
Yeah. Make it a thing.
Yeah, at the end of the weekend, and like Kev's getting very like annoyed. He's like, I'm getting nothing out of this guy. I'm filming, and like he's doing like these 4 and 5 hour like talks.
Yeah.
Like just talking at the crowd, and at the end of the weekend they like literally run out of film.
Wow.
And he, like the camera guys are going, like, what do we do?
Yeah.
And he's just like,
Just pretend.
like he's still rolling. And anyway, and so like they get to that, and so at the end of the weekend, goes to like Prince's assistant.
Yeah.
And is like, okay, well, we got everything we want. Like, how do you want it? Do you want me to edit it? Send you an edit? Like,
Yeah, what do you want?
Yeah,
How
what
do I do
want?
this?
And they're like, well, just hand over the film, and Prince will decide what he wants to do with it. And they're like, he's like, what? And she was like, look, don't be offended, but this is probably just going to go in his vault.
Yeah.
And he's like, what?
You were
This
his
isn't getting released?
personal videographer for the weekend.
She's like, he has thousands of hours of film
Of just him doing stuff.
Yeah.
never
wow.
released.
Yeah. I actually, as soon as you said that, I think I remember Kevin Smith telling this story.
It's wild. He's just a weird dude.
Yeah.
Just come and watch me. Come and film it.
Yeah,
Can I
yeah.
have it later?
But like Kevin Smith of all people.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
bizarre.
I want you. I want your take on it. I want
Yeah.
you to organise it all, and then I'm going to watch it back later on.
Yeah.
So weird.
I want to see me through your eyes. So
You made
weird.
that story even weirder just now.
I just imagine him like, "What are we going to watch tonight?" And he's like, "Oh, I have the best video
It's me for 5 hours.
by
Far
Kevin
out, man.
Smith."
Yeah.
But then
It's a Kevin Smith movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Like, and that will never see the light of day.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way his estate or anyone involved with him will ever release any of that.
yeah.
There's
Yeah.
no way.
Yeah. And it's like, who'd have the time to actually look
Cut it.
through all of
Yeah.
that stuff as well? Like,
Yeah.
it's just crazy. Just intense thinking about it. It just
Wow.
makes me think, like, because you hear like a lot about writers of artists and how certain artists have these weird as hell writers that they have.
Yes.
Yeah, and I remember, I think maybe once, like my band had a writer, and we looked into what should we ask for in our writer. I think it was a festival. I can't remember what festival it was, but we could have a writer, and just all of the stuff that we looked up was like, you know,
Only blue
there's-
M&Ms.
Yeah, you have to have one thing in there that's a joke, or something in there that's just a bit funny, like
Fresh
it's not
flowers.
Yeah, something like
a
that.
signed, an autographed copy of Oprah Winfrey or something.
I remember some artists saying that they did that. I wanted like a signed autograph photo of like Kevin Bacon or something. and then someone did it. Like,
Yeah. So weird, hey. Like, it's crazy. I feel like that's a rabbit hole in itself. We have spent so much time going through a bunch of stuff, and we have probably run out of time with our friend here, Tim Price. I appreciate you coming along.
My pleasure.
Let's move on to the next bit where we
Yeah.
sort of, you know, chill out and
Distill
take
this
it.
down
Yeah,
and-
and pace it out. You know what I mean? Pace it out.
This is it.
It is.
We did it.
I forgot to put my mic across again.
That's not the first time.
Yeah, I did that last week as
You
well.
did.
Oh, I feel like such a failure.
Well, you shouldn't, because we had a great time.
We did have a great time.
Yeah.
It was a fun
This has
time.
been so much fun.
Yeah, we have had a great time, and I knew that you'd have some good stories, Tim. So I appreciate you coming along and sharing them with us.
Anytime.
Rasputin.
We've spoken for so long, I forgot that I brought up Rasputin.
Yeah, Love Machine.
Yeah.
Don't forget that, guys. Tim Price here, Love Machine, Rasputin. I think, is that one of your next tattoos? Rasputin on there, Love
I
Machine?
might have to now.
Don't forget to add it to your Instagram profile.
You want me to put Love Machine there?
Oh,
or
definitely.
Selfie Master?
What
Which
about
Both.
the Love Wizard?
Love Wizards, so good.
one? Love Wizard sounds like a Kiss song.
Yeah,
Oh,
it really
it
does
does.
actually.
Love Wizard!
Get down with my magic fingers. Anyway, this is
Killer.
exactly what I expected.
Killer.
Yeah. Yeah, so good. Yeah, cool.
yeah.
So if you are not subscribed, we have so many people that watch this that aren't subscribed. I think it's like 70% of you that watch that don't click that subscribe button.
Pull
Yeah.
it together, guys.
Pull it together.
Pull it
I
together.
heard something amazing happens when you subscribe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Try it. See what happens. I
Yeah.
think there's something pretty special that happens. I've
Yeah.
been told.
Your
Li-
life gets better.
Yeah.
Your hair's got a luster to it that you didn't have previous.
Yeah. Where
Your
hair,
breath is better.
That's right.
Overnight.
where you thought hair would never grow again,
Yeah.
it will grow
just
again.
comes back.
It comes back.
It's like the elixir of life.
Subscribing to our podcast.
Yeah, exactly. Some would say, disclaimer, it's not like that. It all to do with the feeling. Don't even think about it. All good.
I'm keen for all of the comments that we're going to get around other people's interactions in the music industry as well and their best stories.
Yeah, 100%.
Because I want to know all of those.
Yeah.
And all of the famous people that you think have been swapped out.
Yeah, I do. I want to hear that. There's a lot of stuff going on at the moment around the Kate Middleton stuff as well.
Yeah.
So if you've got theories, throw them in there. And yeah, I do love a good music industry chat. So if you've got some backstage antics that you'd like to share, make sure you throw them in there for sure.
Great.
Pricey, have you got any final thoughts? Final thoughts that you'd like to share
words.
with everyone watching and us as just people that look up to you with our popcorn?
Surprisingly, no. After all of that, I think I've just emptied the brain cavity out into this podcast, and I'm left with nothing.
Well,
Sorry.
I feel like you've done a good job then.
It has.
Yeah, we've not left anything on the table, so well done.
Yeah,
Oh,
we've
my
taken
pleasure.
it off the table.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is really hard to believe. If you could see our table here right now,
There's not a lot of
there's
not a lot of
space.
real estate
There's
left.
a lot on the table. But I'm sure, like, if you want to come back, you're more than welcome to come
Yeah.
back at
Would
another
love to.
time as well. Yeah,
Would love
100%.
to.
Okay,
Great.
cool. Well, great. Well, let's finish it off and
let's wrap
go do like other things, I guess.
Yeah, that
I don't
aren't
know.
podcasting.
Sunday night things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Sunday night. Are we going to do? Sometimes
know.
we do stuff to. I don't.
Yeah, we
like,
could.
We do.
I don't know. Is this
It's-
how you're going to ask me?
Ooh.
I guess. Well, we could probably ask afterwards or
Yeah,
something.
maybe
Like,
we could
do
chat
s-
about this later.
Yeah. What were you going towards?
I mean, do I have to leave or?
We might just let's wrap this up first.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining.
Thanks.
We'll see you in the next one. Appreciate it,
Okay.
guys. See you then.
Bye.
Bye.
That was epic.